Hey everybody, I'm back. I'm Samantha and I'm a therapist and I'm creating a video every day for a year. This is video 321. Thanks so much for being here. Hope you had a wonderful day or evening, whatever time it is whenever you catch this. And we're on day 15 of Rhonda Byrne's 21 days of wealth attracting habits, her countdown to riches. And today is day 15, deliberate acts of kindness. And Earl Nightingale said, no man can get rich himself unless he enriches others. And I just love that and wholeheartedly believe that. And we'll get into more of that in a moment, but I'm going to read some of this chapter. What we send out comes back to us. So when we send out thoughts about others, those thoughts return to us as the experiences of our life. For example, if you have angry thoughts about someone, those thoughts will return to harm you. We are all connected. We are all part of the one energy field, the supreme mind, or the one consciousness. Call it whatever you want, but we are all one. The universal law responds to you and your thoughts as if there's no one else in the universe, because in truth, there are no others. There is only one being. Kindness is free to give, but its reward is riches. Whatever you think, whatever you feel about anybody else or anything else returns to its source, you. When you have thoughts of kindness, goodness, gratitude, or love, or of wishing health or abundance for others, those thoughts also return to you as the experiences of your life. Today, I want you to make an effort to give kindness to everybody you encounter and to leave them feeling better for having crossed paths with you. Say hello to people on the street, give compliments, give appreciation, give a smile, give encouragement. Kindness is free to give, but its reward is riches. In addition, as you connect with each person, I want you to look at them and mentally send this thought to them. I wish you a life full of riches. Really feel the words and mean it with all your heart. You can also mentally send the thought to any number of people you pass today. The more people you can do this with, the more good energy you send out, and the more good energy comes back to your life and your financial situation. When we can live our life according to our true nature, which is pure goodness, our life will be absolutely magnificent. If I could talk, my mouth is dry again. I need some water. I forgot to bring my water over here. So, our true nature is pure goodness, right? Pure love, pure unconditional love. And we forget that so much. So all we have to do is remember that we're pure goodness inside and we are all one. And so the way we think about others affects us. And the way we think about ourselves affects us and others as well. And so we want to keep our frequency at a very high level. We want to think really high frequency thoughts, high vibrational thoughts. And let's see, there's one other thing. I was watching Myron Golden. If you don't know who he is, check him out. He's an amazing speaker. I have taken so much gold from Myron Golden, hence his last name. Today I was listening to him on Lewis Howes' podcast, which I love Lewis Howes as well. And I determined my goal. I'm sure I already knew this before, but it just came so simple to me today that I just want to make everyone's life feel better. That's what I'm here for. I think that's what these videos are for. It's just to make people feel better, because I've encountered so many people throughout my life that didn't feel so good. And I know what that feels like, to not feel so good and to feel powerless. And so that's why throughout the years of just studying the law of assumption and the law of attraction and the Bible and just all of these things that I've studied, all the books, all the big people we know about, and all the business people, Russell Brunson, and just like all these people I've studied over the years. So many, there's too many to count at this point. I've just taken so much information, and I've realized that all we need to do is help each other. That's all we need to do, and it starts with us. It starts with feeling good inside ourselves, creating internal peace, and then that dominoes out into our lives. And so I determined that's what my goal is to help you guys feel a little bit better and learn how to feel better by empowering yourself to be able to do so without relying on any external circumstances or people or anything to make you feel good. That's just the cherry on top. The goal is to feel good inside, to feel safe inside yourself. I said that to a client years ago, like, let's work on feeling safe inside yourself. And they really loved that, the thought of that. And I know over the years, especially the last probably couple years, I've learned to create this internal peace inside myself that anytime I'm feeling down or going through something, I always go back to that feeling. And I've practiced it so much that my brain and body know exactly what to do to get back there. So if you need help with that, we'll be definitely going through some things in the future that I can teach. But I can only do so much in a few minutes of a video right now. So we're getting through this abundance deal, 21 days. But we'll get there. But I will say, if you do practice peace and breathing properly, I would say start there. If you're ever feeling down, acknowledge it. Here's a personal story I'll tell you today. This was crazy. I started thinking about my past marriage and it just like popped in. And I have been going to this lady that does quantum healing sessions, and she mainly does reflexology on your feet. And then she'll read your energy through your feet. It's pretty crazy. It's like pretty amazing what she said, the things that she said. And so, but we kind of know how this stuff works, we are one. So she's just reading my energy. She's like, you're still holding in anger about your ex-husband. And I was like, man, really? Like, I just didn't really know that. And so today it just hit me and I was like, I'm still holding in anger at him. And then it hit me again that our divorce was final 12 years ago today. And I was like, well, that is so strange, And so it's strange how you just might be holding on to something that you need to let go of. Just let go. I give you permission to let go of it today. Just feel it and let it go. And I had to feel it today. I said it out loud. I was like, I'm still upset at him. I'm holding this anger in, and this is doing nothing for me anymore. I don't need to hold this in. I don't need to hold in the betrayal, the sadness, the grief of the life that I had and the life that I wanted and the life I thought I was going to have and all those things. And you just look back and you're like, I can let this go now. It's okay to let that stuff go. Letting that stuff go is going to bring you to your riches and your wealth and your health and wellness. There's no such thing as healthcare anymore. It's basically sick care. We've got to take care of our minds, and we've got to let go of the trauma and the feelings we're holding in our bodies. And I fully believe that doing so will tremendously transform your whole life when you're able to do that. And sometimes it comes in layers. Obviously, mine, 12 years. I mean, good Lord, but you don't realize something until you're ready to feel certain things. Maybe I had to go through a few things before I could finally actually acknowledge that. It's not that I hadn't acknowledged it before, but it just like came out in a weird, different way. And of course, yesterday I talked about the Laguna Beach reunion and how that brought up some stuff. And so maybe that kind of, because we did watch that together. I forgot, like in 2006, we had watched that together, I think, a little bit. So it's just one of those things. It's like, just trust the flow of your life. And there's let go of the things that you don't need anymore that no longer serve you. Who are you becoming? If you want to become this wealthy person and you want to become debt-free and you want to become healthy and all these things, those are identities. We have to shift our internal state to become that person. So what habits would you have to change? And sometimes you have to really ask yourself and come to terms with like, this is who I've always been. And I'm feeling stuck because this is who I've always been. I'm ready to move my life. I got to move that needle this way instead of the old way. And so what thoughts and beliefs and behaviors and habits am I going to start executing instead of just staying stuck in the same old self? And so you have to decide to go all in. You have to make that decision that, oh yeah, I've got to decide to go all in on myself and then keep my word and promises that I make to myself. And this kind of stuff is your foundation for creating the life that you actually want. This is the stuff that is like, this is like what they call the shadow work, you know? You're like dealing with your shadow and your trauma and your limiting beliefs and your self-doubt that was placed upon you that wasn't even true, but you honor your feelings and you honor your beliefs because they got you to where you are right now. And so then you get to decide, do these things match the person I'm becoming? Because it's not about, remember I've said there's no there, ever. There's no there. There's only another there when you get there. And the there is the journey to the there. It's like, you got to enjoy the journey because the journey is, the process is the point, as they say. Like the process is all that it is that matters. So this process, like doing these daily activities, this is the process to enjoy. It's not the money that comes, but they're fun things that we can do to change our state and to kind of concentrate on something else versus I'm broke or oh, I hate my life and all those things that people say. It's like, no, we've got to empower ourselves to know we can change something. We can change things in our lives. We don't need to hold on to these thoughts that we've always held on to. And so you get to decide where you're going to take your life next. And you do have permission to let go of these old things that you've been holding on to. And once you let go, that's when you're going to notice a different frequency shift. And it's crazy too, when I realized it was literally right when I was saying, okay, I must be holding on to anger and I'm going to feel it. Right as I felt it, I got a message from a client that said that they just sent me a payment that I had been waiting on for like 2 months. So it was like a few $100. And so that was really interesting. And then, it's been like, I've gotten some comments from people today and that was pretty awesome. And so you never know what's going to happen when you let go of something. Oh, that's what I was going to tell you. One more thing before I let you go. There's a picture online. I don't remember. I should have printed it off. But it's a little kid sitting there or standing there holding a teddy bear. And the kid is saying, but I love it, God. And then Jesus is standing there with a big, huge teddy bear behind his back. And he says, trust me. And that is one of my favorite things I've always held on to, because sometimes you have to let go of something that you love so much to get something so much bigger and better that's meant for you. It wasn't that other thing wasn't meant for you, but it's leading you to your next there that's even bigger and better for you. And you just have to trust. And my divorce was I'm so glad we got a divorce. I didn't love it at the time. In fact, I remember telling my mom that I felt dead inside. I mean, and I looked in the mirror and I literally told myself, your light is out. And it was so sad for me to say that because I am a bright light and my light was out. It wasn't even dim, it was out. And so it was just that 2014 was so much. I could go into that in another time. What happened that year? It was insane what happened. But looking back, if I wouldn't have gone through all that stuff, then I wouldn't have known that, hey, there's a bigger teddy bear coming. And then I've had to let go of other things. And there's a bigger teddy bear coming every time. So if you just trust in that bigger teddy bear is coming, or whatever it is that you want to come, it's coming. You just have to trust in the flow of your own life and just look at the staircase. Look at the first stair of the staircase. You're not going to see the rest of the staircase, but as long as you can see that first step. And I've told clients, I'm like, hey, just lift your leg up even and just put it on the step. You don't even have to stand on the step. Just put your foot on that step and see what happens. And you just take a little bit of action, and that action could just be, I'm going to stop thinking this thought today, and I'm going to think this instead because I prefer to think this instead. And it will immediately transmute your energy. And when you start to align, it's all about getting into alignment with who you want to be. Well, who I want to be no longer thinks these thoughts anymore. That's what's most important. Who I want to be does not feel this way that I've always felt. So I've got to align my intentions towards that. I've got to decide that. I've decided to become fully debt-free. I've been close before, but I've decided I'm going to be fully debt free. So what have I been doing? I've been paying things off. I've been not buying as much. I've been sticking to a budget more than I was before. And it's not that I'm, absolutely terrible in all areas of finances, but I want to become wealthy. That's different than what I thought before I wanted to become. So it's like, how do I align myself towards that? And then it becomes, for me, I'm already wealthy. Because if I feel into my heart, if I can really get into my heart and feel peace, that is all I need. That is literally all I need. I don't need anything else. And that's how I want everyone to get to feeling, is all you need to do is go into your heart. Everything radiates out from that. And if you can feel internal peace, that's wealth. Money is great. All those things are great and they will come. But you can't buy peace and you can't buy love. And just like this said, do random acts of kindness. I think that's what this was called. Deliberate acts of kindness. Deliberate acts. Now, if you don't see people tomorrow when you do this, or today, whatever time it is, then give yourself some kindness. Talk really gently and nice to yourself. And also, though, if you're having issues with somebody, the best thing to do is to transmute that energy and to change that relationship is to send out thoughts to them of loving kindness and unconditional love. Unconditional love is something that I want to master. I've had trouble with that in the past too, because with the job that I do, I'm always in fix-it mode. I'm like, okay, not fix-it mode. I want to take that back. More like solution focused. I'm like, okay, let's find a solution to this challenge. Now I'm moving more into, which I've always kind of been in and out of this, but more heart-based. Like, how can I do this job with an open heart and lead with an open heart? And so that's a really good way to look at, how do I live my life from an open heart? And so, it starts, I do believe, being kind to ourselves, because the more kind you are to yourself, you can actually give more from a fuller heart and a more open heart. And I know in the past I would try to change people or, fix them and help them, and they might not ask for that help or that fixing. And I'm over here like, and I got triggered in certain areas. And it just, when you have a trigger, it's like you want to fix it. And I need you to change for me to feel better, type of a thing. So if you're married to somebody, or you're with somebody, you have a partner, or it's your friend, or it's anybody that you're in contact with, you don't need them to change for you to feel better. Because when you say that, I need you to do better in this area, I need you to change for me to feel better, all your power is gone. So what's crazy is when you get into your heart and you start leading yourself, you start challenging yourself, and you start focusing on, what am I not doing that I need to be doing? I need to change my life, instead of trying to ask somebody else to change their life for me to feel better. What happens is that other person gets inspired to change as well, to grow with you, or you'll notice that they may not belong in your life anymore, or they might belong in your life in a different way, or they'll start shifting. And so it's really interesting what happens when you shift internally. And that's my favorite practice to do. I'm like, if I'm having an issue outside of me, I always go inside myself. And I'll say, if somebody's, say, neglecting something, I'll be like, man, I really wish they wouldn't neglect that. I really wish they would take care of this. And then I go inside and I'm like, is there any place in me that I'm not taking care of something that I should be taking care of? Or am I neglecting a part of me? Or am I expecting somebody to do something for me to feel better? I always bring it back to me, because that's where I have the power, and that's where you have your power. Always bring it back to you. There's no one to change but self. Neville Goddard said, there's no one to change but self. I 100% believe that. But we are all one energy. So as you change yourself, you're helping other people change themselves too, unknowingly. It's all kind of subconscious, on a subconscious level. So I love this stuff. I love talking about this stuff. So Remember to go into your heart as much as possible. Breathe into your heart and breathe in general. A lot of us are holding our breath during the day. Our shoulders are up really tight and our jaw is tight. Oh my gosh, the jaw is really big for holding in a lot. So just give your jaw a massage tonight. Do some breathing, or the daytime, whatever time it is. Do some really deep breathing through your diaphragm. Fill up your lungs and just train your body to relax. Because that's whenever you can actually think more logically and clearly too, to be able to manifest. So manifest consciously, let's put it, because we're manifesting all the time, you know that whole spiel. So, well, I will let you go. I hope you all are doing amazing. Thank you guys for listening and watching as always. I so appreciate you guys very, very much, truly from my heart. I truly do. This is just such a great experience, and I don't know, the past couple of days I've just felt more emotional, I guess. So I just wanted to be vulnerable and share myself a little more. So I hope that inspires you to share yourself with somebody. Maybe you need to open your heart a little bit. Maybe I did too. Maybe I needed to share more. I don't know. Really interesting stuff going on here. Some transformations. So let me know in the comments if you're transforming anything or transmuting anything. I'd love to hear your all stories as much as you're willing to share on a public forum. You know, I get it if you don't want to, totally. But yes, remember you're so loved, and remember to appreciate yourself, because what you appreciate appreciates, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.